Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the second half of GMK Saturday. I'm Lily Wu. Thanks for joining us. Today is a great day, and I know that it's great weather. So we'd like to know a little bit more about that entire forecast. So let's take a look at that with Tanner.
Well, good morning, Lily, and good morning to the rest of you. Yesterday was absolutely gorgeous. Lots of sunshine, temperatures in the 60s. We finally had a nice little warm up as we head into the weekend, starting off the day with a few more clouds out there. We're calling it mostly cloudy skies right now as we take a look outside using the Emprise Bank KAKE cam. It's cool, but it could be worse. We're setting at a temperature of 30 degrees right now in Wichita. It's 37 in Hutch, 41 right now in Salina, 42 for you folks out in Dodge City. Some gusty northwest winds already starting to invade western Kansas. Those northwesterly winds will invade the rest of the state as we head through the day. So it's going to be a windy day today. Look for a northwest wind anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour with some higher gusts. It will be a warm day today, but not as warm as what we saw yesterday. 52 by the noon hour. Look for a high today in Wichita right around 56 with kind of a mix of clouds and sun for the first half of the day, but lots of sunshine as we go into the afternoon. Looks like those 60s are going to return as we head into our Sunday. Another look at the forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Tanner. New this morning, a man in his 50s has died after a crash in northwest Wichita. The accident happened around 11:30 last night in the 1500 block of North Valley View Street. That's near 13th and Mays Road. Police say the driver took a corner, hit a curve, and then a mailbox, finally also hitting a tree. The white four-door car ended up on someone's front yard. No witnesses saw this accident. The man in his 50s was the only person in that car. His name has not been released at this time. Friday marked 50 years after an Air Force KC-135 tanker crashed into the neighborhood of 20th and Piatt. 30 people were killed, 23 of those residents and 7 McConnell airmen. Memorial now sits at that crash site. KAKE's Monica Castro was there during an emotional ceremony.
On January 16, 1965, this neighborhood was forever changed after a tragic plane crash. In this footage, smoke could be seen for miles. Now, 50 years later, Wichitans remember the 30 lives lost.
My father and my grandmother, 2 cousins during this tragedy.
Survivors even took the podium to share their thoughts. Sharon Watkins was 15 at the time of the crash.
I lost a mother and a sister. My sister had just turned 2 years old, 7 days before this accident.
The crash site where this memorial now sits was Sharon's childhood home.
And I was supposed to be here, so I should have been actually victim number 24 on the monument.
Whether you lived in this neighborhood or not, many Wichitans were impacted by the tragedy. This local dentist was asked to help identify victims.
I'll never forget. It was the worst thing. They brought all the bodies to the health department, and it's something you don't ever want to see.
Even those who helped in first response efforts say it's a sight they'll never forget.
There was just so much fuel and scattered all over, and the fires and such. It was really, as I can think of what hell must be like.
This Piatt plane crash is the state's worst aviation disaster. The clock is now ticking to balance the Kansas budget. Governor Sam Brownback has released his proposal to come up with $710 million. KAKE's Chris Stanford takes a look at the key items in the 2-year plan.
It's always the sin tax. The things that aren't good for you, but that's what they do.
More taxes on cigarettes and alcohol are a main revenue driver in the governor's plan. Alcohol taxes would go up from 8 to 12%, cigarettes from 10 to 25%, or $2.29 a pack. Governor Brownback estimates that would raise $400 million in 2 years. Then there are the cuts. Let's start with the Fair Fares program, which helps travelers with more flight options and more affordable airfare. The governor is asking for a $2 million cut here.
We think the program is critically important, and we would prefer that it was funded at the $5 million level, and we'll continue to ask for that until the budget's finally completed.
More cuts are proposed to public radio and television stations, dropping by almost 17%. A wild card in the governor's plan is funding public education. During Thursday's State of the State address, Governor Brownback challenged the legislature to approve a new school funding formula.
Public school funding makes up 50% of the budget. I mean, we understand those dollars are going to be scrutinized, but at the same time, we have evidence, we have research that shows Kansas schools are doing a good job. We are producing successful students, and it takes money to do that.
The proposed budget does fund state schools near current levels through June 2017. Another aspect of this plan would impact road projects. Now it's up to the Kansas legislature to approve a budget before the next fiscal year begins. The Pope, the Oscars, and Martin Luther King Jr. Here's a look at what's trending today. Thousands of Catholic faithfuls braved the strong winds and rain on Saturday to catch a glimpse of the Pope. The papal visit to the Philippines was cut short due to a storm. Pope Francis riding the Pope Mobile, seen with a yellow plastic raincoat, left tackle ban. That's the city hardest hit by the typhoon in 2013. Well, the lack of diversity is being discussed after this week's Oscar announcements. Analysts say this is the least diverse Oscars list in 17 years. And that didn't go very well in social media circles. Twitter blew up with this comment, many people saying, quote, hashtag Oscars so white. The Oscars will be presented live here on KAKE Sunday, February 22nd. The Caltrain is the last remaining official Martin Luther King commemorative train that will be servicing the U.S., and it's making its last run this weekend. The train honors the 54-mile march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, which was instrumental in the passage of the 1965 Voting Rights Act.